The Galactic Consortium's research station orbited a dying star, its metallic hull reflecting the crimson glow of stellar decay. Inside Laboratory 7, Daniela Martinez stood with her arms crossed, watching her partner Bennett Cole do exactly what every safety protocol in 3 galaxies explicitly forbade. "Bennett, no," she said, her voice carrying that particular tone of exhausted resignation that came from working with him for 2 years. "I'm just checking something," Bennett replied, his finger hovering mere centimeters above the containment tank's surface. The liquid inside churned with an iridescent purple sheen, its pH so extreme that it didn't register on standard measurement devices. The tank's warning labels were written in 47 languages, each one screaming variations of "do not touch." Their supervisor, a Quellan named Zixthar, had 8 sensory stalks that all turned toward Bennett in perfect synchronization, the Quellan equivalent of abject horror. The creature's translator crackled to life. "Human Bennett, that substance dissolved a quantum-reinforced sampling probe in 1.3 seconds. It is classified as a universal solvent grade 9. Your organic tissue will." Bennett dipped his finger in. The laboratory fell silent except for the hum of containment fields and the quiet bubbling of various experimental compounds. Daniela closed her eyes. This was how they'd lose another research posting. This was how they'd end up reassigned to cataloging asteroid minerals in the outer reaches. "Huh," Bennett said, pulling his finger out and examining it. "That tingles." Zixthar's stalks drooped in what might have been a faint. The other researchers, a crystalline Veshkari and 2 methane-breathing Kolvas in environmental suits, had backed against the far wall. "Tingles." Daniela opened one eye. "Bennett, your finger should be skeletal remains right now." "Yeah, but it's not." He held up his hand. The skin was slightly pink, like a mild sunburn, but otherwise intact. "See? Humans have this thing with acids. Something about our evolutionary background. That's vinegar and citrus fruits," Daniela snapped, striding over to examine his hand more closely. "Not a substance that can eat through starship hulls." Zixthar had recovered enough to initiate a full biohazard scan. The results appeared on the holographic display, and the Quellan's color shifted from its usual teal to a confused shade of orange. "Impossible. The human's epithelial cells are regenerating faster than the acid can damage them, and his skin is secreting some kind of," the translator struggled with the concept, "neutralizing compound." Bennett shrugged. "Human sweat is slightly acidic. Maybe it's creating some kind of pH buffer zone. Plus, we've got really good tissue regeneration compared to most species. Remember that paper about human healing rates?" "That paper," Daniela said, pulling up a medical scanner and running it over Bennett's hand despite her better judgment, "was about recovering from cuts and broken bones, not surviving universal solvents." The Veshkari researcher chimed in, its voice like whined through crystal caves. "In 17 years of xenobiology research, I have never seen anything survive direct contact with that compound. The humans should not be this resilient." "Oh, this isn't even that impressive," Bennett said cheerfully, which made Daniela want to strangle him. "There was this guy back on Earth who drank hydrofluoric acid as a party trick. Real dumb, obviously, but he survived with just some stomach damage. Humans used to work with way worse chemicals before we had proper safety equipment." "Bennett," Daniela said carefully, "just because humans can survive something stupid doesn't mean you should test it. But now we know." He gestured at the tank enthusiastically. "This opens up whole new possibilities for handling hazardous materials. If human skin can temporarily resist this stuff, we could develop exposure suits based on the same principle. Or use human handlers for emergency containment breaches." Zixthar made a sound like strangled whistling. "The insurance premiums alone." "He has a point, though," Daniela admitted reluctantly, studying the scanner data. Bennett's regenerative markers were elevated, and his immune system had kicked into overdrive, but he showed no signs of serious damage. "This is actually fascinating from a xenobiology perspective. Most species would require full environmental suits to even be in the same room as this compound." "Exactly," Bennett pointed at the tank. "What's the recommended safety distance again?" 20 meters with quantum shielding." 30 meters. One of the Kolvas corrected, its voice bubbling through its methane suit. "For all species except, apparently, humans." Daniela watched as her partner's eyes lit up with that particular gleam That meant he was about to suggest something that would give Zix-Star another color-changing episode. Bennett, whatever you're thinking, we should test it properly. Controlled conditions, full medical monitoring, multiple human subjects. No. With actual safety protocols this time, still no. And I promise I'll read the warning labels first. Daniela looked at Zixthar, whose stalks had gone completely limp. She looked at the other researchers, who seemed torn between scientific curiosity and existential dread. She looked at Bennett, who was grinning like he'd just solved the universe's greatest mystery by being recklessly stupid. Fine, she sighed. But I'm writing the proposal, I'm designing the protocols, and if you lose a finger, I'm telling the medical board you did it because you wanted to check the temperature. Deal. Bennett pumped his fist in the AIR.AS Zixthar quietly updated the station's emergency response procedures to include catastrophic human curiosity as a potential hazard. Daniela pulled up a research template on her tablet. She couldn't decide if she was enabling her partner's dangerous tendencies or documenting humanity's newest contribution to galactic science. Probably both. For the record, she said, not looking up from her typing, you're still an idiot. Yeah, Bennett agreed happily, examining his slightly pink finger. But I'm an idiot who just changed xenobiology. Somewhere in the galactic database, a new entry was being logged. Humans, remarkably durable, dangerously curious, surprisingly difficult to dissolve.